party have already signed books before and letters to her, the organization. So we'll do something like that again. Cool. Two things and I'll get off here. The deployment briefing yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk to just about everybody here, either in the afternoon or the evening, and you know what I said about where we've been and where we're going. I am very proud of each and every one of you and your families for what we're doing every day. It has not been easy. The analogy and the story I tell people is that you've been on a bus going 75 miles an hour on the interstate, sometimes 90 miles an hour on the interstate. You're letting passengers off the bus. Those soldiers ETS and PCS them. You're letting new soldiers on the bus. You're changing the tires. You're changing the oil. You're rotating and balancing everything, and the bus isn't stopping. That's what it feels like. You guys have done a great job all year long, and we kept it together because we are no slack. We got our next rendezvous with Destiny after our max leave with JRTC and then combat. And as I said in the theater yesterday, that history is written. You will bring security to the people in Western Kandahar. You will achieve those effects so our kids don't have to go there in 10 more years and do the same thing we're doing now. Okay, I'm going to be brief. We're very fortunate tonight to have a combat veteran, a warrior, to talk to us a little bit about leadership, a little bit about who we are, and I'll tell you a little bit about him. Colonel Pappas, our brigade commander. I first really got to know him as an adjacent unit in Iraq in 2006, right about when there was a lot of hard fighting going on in the Diyala province. Our unit was sending companies to his squadron to help continue the fight in Bakuba and other places. But I tell you what, you find no harder infantryman, no more solid warrior, no more sound leader than Colonel Pappas, and I saw that in action just as an adjacent unit across the river. So we're glad to have him here, and without any further ado, I'm going to introduce Colonel Pappas, Bastogne 6, your brigade commander.
Those are truly kind words, and I appreciate it. Your job damn sure is secure for a long time to come. I got to tell you, I am truly honored to be here this evening to be a part of the No Slack Ball. It is an honor to be able to speak to each and every one of you tonight, and I appreciate the invitation. I look at No Slack not just as a unit. I truly look at it as a large extended family, and I want to thank you all first coming out to celebrate and enjoy each other's company as we go into this holiday season. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to speak to different groups. It's usually about battles past, unit histories, their lineages, and usually refer to highlight what we've already done. But tonight's a special night. It's a distinct and immense honor to address you as we look to the future, to history that is yet to be written, but one that is going to be rich in accomplishments. And I've had the opportunity to witness over the past year the extraordinary developments, the convergence, and the renewal of this legendary battalion. It is a massive task to reshape, to reinvigorate, and to build a force coming back from a previous fight. And to do so with very divergent groups of soldiers. Colonel Vowell touched upon that, but let's take a look at what we saw when we first came back from Iraq. This organization. You got those that are returning and they're about to get out. They're PCSing, leaving, ETSing. They're really not invested in the unit. They just want to get out and be left alone. You know, big Sarge, just let me sleep in. They're not helping out. They've got future plans, and God bless them. Then you got the new soldiers that are coming in, either from other units or brand new soldiers. They're the motivated patriots. They want to fight, and they wanted to be part of this great unit. Because you have to volunteer to become here, to be part of this fight. But then you really got the foundation. You got those that are returning from the recent fight, and they're the ones that are going to build the base. They truly form the foundation. And they're the ones that are going to share their experience from combat. They're going to draw and lead all these divergent groups, and they're going to bring them into one coherent entity. And that's exactly what you've done, and masterfully so. Over the past 12 months, what I've seen from No Slack, that you have forged and honed into a very lethal and exacting force. In order to be successful in the next fight, and the fight that we have next year, I liken it to being a middleweight fighter. You got to be lean, agile, rapidly adaptive force with the endurance, and I call it the knockout power, to take on and defeat any opponent, regardless of the weight class. And by carefully studying his adversaries, as we have done the opponent that we're going to face, you start to identify his strengths and weaknesses. Then it's usually training or diet. For us, it's predominantly training, so our diet doesn't vary too much. But then you can modify your training. And in that middleweight, he can easily move up and down between the classes and defeat any opponent. And that's exactly the fight that we're facing in Afghanistan in the next year. And I'll tell you, just as the middleweight, No Slack has become equally versatile, equally decisive, and equally lethal. When I've watched the training over the past year, from the inception forward, what I've seen is agile and adaptive leaders. I've seen them broad enough to handle the challenges of full spectrum operations which we train to, but simultaneously conducting stability operations. That's a huge divergence of what we've never had to grow up with previously. I've seen you in action as creative and critical thinkers, confident and competent communicators. You're capable of operating within the comprehensive approach. You can and you have been able to integrate the complete combined arms fight. You integrate with host nation forces, but your perspective and you're perceptive enough to identify when there's changes within the transition. So you know when to bring the full power to the fight, and you know when to bring the soft power into the engagement. And that is critical of the fight that we have today and the adaptive leaders that we need to have. And that is exactly what I have seen over the past year. The one thing that we have to look at is that the success of this brigade on the field of battle truly rests, and I'm talking about the full brigade, rests squarely on your shoulders. But I'll tell you, the success and our successes, both on and off the battlefield, aren't ours alone. Our families themselves have made considerable sacrifices. And we need to recognize them here today also. Now, to the military spouses, if you look at your efforts, the sacrifices you've made, rarely are you identified conspicuously or concurrently with ribbons, medals, or parades as we always have been. And that's unfortunate. But I want to thank you truly for being that well from which we've drawn our strength. It is very difficult to do what we do without the support that you've provided. Now I'm Greek, and as the commanders here will tell you, I always draw back to the old Spartan lineage. And I'll tell you, the history that tells us that the wives in ancient Sparta, they present their warriors, their husbands, before they went off to war with their shield, and they tell them, return with this or on this. Because they recognized that the family was an integral part of the social foundation. And the Spartans that were selected for the most challenging of the missions were done so not only for their own physical prowess, but truly because of the strength of the family. Because in ancient Sparta, they acknowledged that the future of their society rested equally on the shoulders of the families that were left behind. And I'll tell you, the spouses of No Slack, you have shown incredible strength. And as you have borne the brunt over the past year, as we have continued to train for this upcoming fight. And through this preparation, you too have prepared yourself for the battles that we have yet to come. In the near future, in the springtime, the frost thaws on the mountains in Afghanistan, and they call it the fighting season over there, it commences. Once again, the No Slack Battalion will be distinguished itself in combat in the finest traditions of the 101st. I look forward to seeing you write the next chapter of the great history of this battalion. Colonel Vowell talked about the fight that's south of Kandahar. And I've told you before, that is not where I want to see you fight. That is not the fight that I have right now.